Czarek and the Magical House. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you found a magical house that could fulfill your dreams? Such a question popped into the mind of little Czarek one day as he played in his room. Czarek was a 3-year-old boy who often felt lost and sad. His dad frequently disappeared, and when he returned, Czarek noticed that his mom was sad and upset. Czarek missed his dad very much, but at the same time felt angry at his mom, though he didn't know why. One day, while Czarek was playing in his room, he found a mysterious letter under his bed. The letter was written on beautiful golden paper and smelled like flowers. Czarek struggled to read the letters, but with his mom's help, he managed to understand that the letter invited him to a magical house that would help him understand his emotions and relationships with his family. Entering the magical house, holding the letter tightly in his hand, Czarek ran out into the yard. To his surprise, right behind the large tree appeared a door that hadn't been there before. The door was colorful and had small twinkling lights. Full of curiosity, Czarek opened it and stepped inside. Inside the house it was warm and cozy. The walls were adorned with paintings depicting happy families, and the air smelled of chocolate cookies. Czarek felt safe, as if someone was expecting him there. In the living room, on a comfortable couch, sat a small fairy named Lila. She had wings shimmering in all the colors of the rainbow, and a smile that immediately calmed. "Welcome, Czarek," said Lila. "I've been waiting for you. I know you have many questions, but I'm here to help you." Czarek sat beside Lila and told her about his dad, who often disappears, and how bad he feels when his dad returns and his mom is sad. Lila listened attentively, then said, "Czarek, in this house you'll find answers to your questions. But first you need to visit a few rooms and meet extraordinary characters who will help you understand what's happening in your heart." The first room Lila led him to was the room of sadness. It was dark there, and the air smelled of rain. In the corner of the room sat a small blue creature named Sadness. It had big, sad eyes and was quietly crying. "This is Sadness," Lila explained. "He feels just like you do when your dad is away. But Sadness wants to show you that it's normal to feel sad." Czarek approached Sadness and asked, "Why are you crying?" Sadness replied, "I cry because I miss someone I love very much, but crying helps me feel better. You can try crying when you feel sad, Czarek. It's okay." Next, Lila led Czarek to the room of anger. Inside it was hot, and the walls were red. In the corner of the room stood a small red dragon named Anger. The dragon seemed very upset and was throwing small sparks. "This is Anger," said Lila. "He feels just like you do when you're mad at your mom." Czarek approached Anger and asked, "Why are you so angry?" Anger replied, "I'm angry because I feel helpless. But I've learned that instead of yelling, I can take a deep breath and express my feelings with words." Anger noticed that Czarek was still confused, so he decided to show him how to cope with this emotion. "Come with me, Czarek," said Anger. "I'll show you some ways that help me when I feel very angry." Anger led Czarek to a small workshop in the corner of the room. It was filled with various tools and objects that seemed strange and interesting. "This is my anger workshop," Anger explained. "Here I learn how to manage my anger in a way that doesn't hurt others." The first tool Anger showed Czarek was a soft pillow. "When I feel like I'm about to explode, I hit this pillow," said Anger. "It helps me release anger without hurting anyone." Czarek tried hitting the pillow, then grabbed it and started hitting it against the surrounding furniture until he got tired. Finally, he kicked it hard and felt that it really helped. "This is pretty fun," he said with a smile. Next, Anger showed him colorful sheets of paper and crayons. "Another way is drawing," he explained. "When I draw, I can express my anger on paper. Sometimes I draw big red dragons, and sometimes thunderstorms." Czarek sat at the table and began to draw. His drawing depicted a big red dragon with fire coming out of its mouth. "This is my anger," said Czarek. "But now I feel better because I could draw it." Finally, Anger stomped his short hind legs hard on the floor, took a deep breath, and roared loudly until the whole room shook. Czarek thought he had seen this somewhere before, and remembered that his mom does this when she gets angry. After the workshop, Anger invited Czarek to talk. "Sometimes anger is hard to understand," said Anger. "But it's important not to keep it inside. We can talk about what makes us angry and look for solutions." Czarek thought for a moment, then said, "I'm angry because Dad often disappears, and Mom is sad. I don't know what to do." Anger nodded. "It's normal to feel angry in such a situation," he said. "But you can talk to your mom about your feelings. You can tell her that you're sad and angry when Dad is away. Maybe together you can find a way to feel better." Czarek felt braver. He knew that talking about his feelings could be difficult, but now he had tools to help him cope with anger. After visiting the room of Anger and talking with Anger, Czarek felt better. He understood that anger is a normal emotion and that it can be managed in a way that doesn't hurt anyone. Lila smiled at him and said, "Czarek, now you know how to handle your anger. Remember, you can always return to the magical house when you need help." Czarek thanked Lila and Anger, then left the magical house. When he returned to his room, he felt stronger and more confident. He knew he could talk to his mom about his feelings, and didn't have to be angry when Dad came home. From that point on, Czarek began to see his emotions differently. When he felt sad, he cried and hugged his mom. When he was angry, he took a deep breath, hit the pillow, drew his feelings, or stomped and shouted loudly. And when he felt love, he shared it with his mom and Dad. Czarek understood that his emotions are important, and that he can express them in a way that doesn't hurt others. The magical house taught him that love, sadness, and anger are part of life. But how we deal with them defines our strength and courage. The mysterious garden. One day, while Czarek was playing in his room, he noticed that the doors to the magical house appeared again. This time, however, they led to a mysterious garden. The garden was full of colorful flowers that shimmered in the sun, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh herbs. Czarek entered the garden and noticed that in the center stood a large ancient tree. The tree had a hollow from which a gentle light emanated. Czarek approached and heard a soft voice. "Welcome, Czarek. I am the Tree of Wisdom. You have come to learn more about yourself and your family." Czarek sat under the tree and told it about his recent experiences. The Tree of Wisdom listened carefully, then said, "Czarek, relationships with family are like tending a garden. You must care for them every day, water them with love and understanding. Sometimes weeds will appear, but that's normal. It's important to remove them and not let them dominate your garden." Czarek understood that his relationships with his mom and dad require work, but they are worth it. He thanked the Tree of Wisdom and returned home, ready to nurture his family with even greater care. A new home. A few days later, Czarek's mom noticed that her son had become more open and calm. She decided to talk to him about his feelings. "Czarek, I see that lately you've been more calm and happy. Would you like to tell me what happened?" his mom asked. Czarek told his mom about the magical house. Lila, Anger, and the tree of wisdom. His mom listened attentively, then said, "Son, I am very proud of how you're handling your emotions. I want you to know that you can always count on me. I love you very much and want you to feel safe and happy." Czarek's mom decided to do something special for herself and her son. She decided that they would build a new house where they could live together, separately from Dad. Mom and Czarek began planning a new home full of love and peace. Together they chose wall colors, furniture, and decorations. Mom wanted Czarek to feel safe and happy in the new house. When the house was ready, Mom and Czarek moved into it. The new house was full of warmth and love. Czarek had his own room where he could play and dream. In the living room stood a comfortable couch where they could read books and watch movies together. The kitchen was full of delicious aromas, and colorful flowers grew in the garden. Mom told Czarek, "Son, this house is our new beginning. I want you to know that I will always be with you. I love you and want you to feel safe and happy." Czarek was happy in the new house. He knew his mom loved him, and that he could always count on her support. The new house became his favorite place where he could play, rest, and dream. Czarek knew that the magical house and its mysterious garden would always be there when he needed support. Thanks to them, he learned how to manage his emotions and how to care for relationships with loved ones. Every day he became stronger and more confident, ready for new adventures and challenges. And so little Czarek, thanks to the magical house, the new home, and the support of his mom, learned how to be happy and how to handle difficult situations. He knew he could always count on the support of his friends and family, and his heart was full of love and understanding.